Greetings, Internet. Welcome to Aaron Plays. In this episode, we will be starting the Russian turn 3 of Russia Besieged and see if we can get them out of a tricky, sticky situation. They will be receiving some reinforcements as denoted on the actual chart here. And if I actually bring up the reinforcement table, I get up here, we can see they get quite significant reinforcements, September and October. Those obviously will arrive in the second impulse of this particular turn. We know the weather is clear for both impulses because the Germans had it clear, so the Russians will too. So there's quite a few reinforcements, and replacements-wise, they have a fair few too. Currently, this is the replacements. So on board, they have 14. It would have had 15, but they lost Kiev, so they've got 14. And oil, they have 4. However, they are receiving new ones, 2 more oil, and 2 off-map production in the Urals. Those come into effect instantly. So let's put that there. That gives them another 2. And the oil, giving me a hex number, we'll put it in that hex. Let's put it on the map and then I'll find out what hex that is. 5811, that'll give them a 2 additional oil on there. Okay, so let's put these in the right place. 5811. Oh, let's put that out of the way. I'll put that 5811. There it is. Boom. That now puts their production up to 6. So if we look at placements now, if you remember, well, if you've been watching the German phase, the Germans were trying to take out as many units as possible. And in the last turn, they took out 10 units, which is about the same amount. Well, we know the Russians are going to get 16 units this turn. So I was trying with the Germans to cause enough casualties to equal, if possible, the amount the Russians are going to get. Well, didn't quite achieve that as the German player, but this is the Russian player, not too concerned yet about the losses. I mean, there appears to be a lot, but we're going to be able to rebuild some of them. Okay, so we've got 16 replacement points for infantry. So we could rebuild. Let's rebuild 1, 2, 3 infantry units. That will take up the full 16. And then these 2 armored units will use up the full amount of oil. Yeah. We'll put those to be ready to be placed on the map. Close that. Okay. Close that one. So these guys can be placed in cities with the worker units as well. So we'll put them currently near Moscow, which is where I'm going to be placing most of reinforcements. Because if you look on the actual reinforcement chart, we have got Let me look at my actual reinforcement chart. Yeah, not too clear on there, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those appear in Moscow. These others are on the east edge of the map. And we've got one in Leningrad. That lad in Leningrad. And we'll put these close to the east edge, which we can move by rail. Remembering they don't count against the rail capacity in the turn that they arrive. And we've done those two. And we will be getting these here in the second impulse. Paratroopers, guard cavalry, and the first partisan. Okay. Okay, so replacements for these units here, we brought in on these worker units here. Let's put some around. We definitely want one. Kharkov. That, however you pronounce that word. One down there. So we'll put one in Moscow. And these can move by rail if required. Stalino and Rostov. There we go. Now, we want to evacuate some of these production units. They can produce in the turn that we're going to be evacuated, but each one that's evacuated uses one off the Soviet rail capacity. So I think we definitely, and there's only certain ones that can be removed, which are, let's look at this up. Kiev could have been, but obviously that's been taken out. So the Rostov, Kharkov, whatever word that is, Stalino and Kiev. So I think the Soviets will withdraw those to the east, using up 4 of Rostov. Germans aren't going to get there now, are they? No, let's keep the Rostov one then. Maintain 1 rail capacity. Definitely that one. Can't see the Germans getting to Stalino this next turn either. Maybe Kharkov. So we'll withdraw those 2. Okay. And they are placed on the turn track 1 year from now. So they will start producing again. So we're in turn 3, which is the September, October. So they will start producing again in September, October 42. So effectively, it takes a year. So we've got the production for them this turn, but that's it. Okay. So we've placed the reinforcements, replacements. We've got our reinforcements. So let's do the Soviet movement. Okay. looking at this guy, his nearest, if he moves out of Riga, he's going to put himself out of supply. Maximum get here or here or here, so he's got nowhere to go. So he might as well stay in Riga and be marked out of supply in the city, which he can stay there for a bit more time. These guys, wherever they move, well, they can't move from zone of control to zone of control, which is here, so they can't move. This guy's in zone of control everywhere. He can move the zone of control, so he can't move. I'm going to mark these as moved to mark me they can't move. This guy here, same situation. He can't move anywhere without going into a zone of control, and he's already in a zone of control. Okay. Same with these guys. They're already in a zone of control. Currently out of supply, but as soon as we can move a unit into this hex or this hex, they'll be back in supply. So I think that might be, at the present moment, these guys have got to attack here. So let's yeah. Okay. 1, 2, get that to there. Right, so now we're having to think a little bit, but I'm actually going to bring that replacement. One of those infantry that was in there actually got to Stelino. That will go to there instead. 2, 3, 4, 5, giving them some armor support there. So they have to attack there. Right, now, Odessa. So again, they're not in a zone of control of anybody at the present moment. They could move to here, but as soon as they move there, they're going to be eliminated at the end of the turn. So they might as well stay in Odessa. However, we do have sea transport. It might be worth withdrawing that 7 unit into Sevastopol. Let me check the rules. Okay, so I intend to move the 7-4 here through to Sevastopol. So there is a sea movement table here with the following modifiers. So -2 controls own major naval base. Major naval base on the Black Sea is Sevastopol. Reach other port control at the start of the impulse. Well, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the Black Sea. There's -5. So total -7. Is designated with 9 hexes of an friendly airbase? No. There is no major naval enemy airbase, naval base. Reach other enemy port within 4 hexes of the destination? No. Destination hex within 9 of an enemy airbase? No. And it's not an evacuation. So we're on -7. This should be okay. Roll the dice. 8 take away 7 is 1. The sea movement is successful. So he can move into Sevastopol successfully. Now the question is, can he move beyond that now that he's actually landed there? It's another interesting question. Now that concludes their movement for the turn. So the question is, do we abandon Odessa completely? I think not. Cavalry unit, we'll keep it there for a while. Okay, so continue the movement phase then. I think we need to hold on to this city for as long as possible. and get some form of front line here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We know these can't move, so we've already marked those. Not sure why he's marked, because I dragged him across, didn't I? One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Intending to move him into the NEP. That's what I'll call it from now on. An abbreviation, a shortening, but I struggle to say the whole word, as I keep saying in every video. Okay. All right, so I think the main aim now here for the rest of the Soviet army is to again form some form of line. We know there's going to be an attack here using these woods and the units coming in from the east and Moscow. Okay. Right, so we can bring units in by rail, as we know. So let's bring, remember, moving by rail is free, the rail capacity, so we can bring him into here. Okay. Let's see where this gets us. One there and one there. One, 2, 3, 4. Ideally, I'd like a unit here, but looks like we're not going to have our ideal. And again, remembering these don't use the rail capacity, so let's move these down, and the weather's going to be awful next turn. Oh, we hope it's going to be awful. Could be like mud, but hey ho. Okay. Now let's move these guys out of Moscow. Do we want to move adjacent to this armor? Now we could counterattack this guy. Can't get a unit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing faster, have we? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, so we can't get a unit into that hex there. We could, that would be nice, because we would have had a unit on that side and that side. So is it worth counterattacking? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, their strength is 9, that's 15. And would be -1 for the armor. So no, I think still forming the line is the best way to go. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Using the terrain. As best as possible. So let's put 2 in each of those. You know what, I'm going to we'll place one there and then place in there. Stay in those woods. Remember, for the Soviet Russian units, these are armies, so the stacking is 2. Okay, bringing this guy in by rail, free of charge. Bring him into here. Oh, along the rail line. And these guys can move by rail on the first turn that they are in. So using the rail line to there. I think they'll fall back 1 hex. They're quite happy there. Okay, so we sort of have a front line. Okay, so now we're going to create a bit of a second line. Now, I'm going to bring one of these by rail. This will count against rail capacity, so I'll put him there. In front of Moscow. Remember, Moscow's going to get some more troops anyway. So we'll march into there. That line. Okay, I think that's all of the Soviet units moved. Okay. Right, so attacks that got to be done. This one doesn't have to attack. None of the rest have to attack there. Okay, we don't have to attack there, but we're going to be eliminated anyway. So if we look at the combat results table, on our 1 to 2, we might be able to achieve a BR, which is both sides take a step loss. We're going to be eliminated anyway. So 5 to 6, these double because of the river, with a -1. Well, let's go for it. 6 becomes a 5. 1 to 2. A1. Right. So he's eliminated. Okay. Again, this unit to here. 4 to 4 or 4 to 8. 1 to 2. However, he does get a +1 because he is armor. 1 to 2 with a 2. A2. He's eliminated. Okay. 6 to 15. No, 16. 16, 1 to 3 with a -1. Oh dear. 2. AE. Right. Now this and this to here. Okay, so we've got 8 plus 8, 16 to 11, 1 to 1. Both sides with armor, so it's 1 to 1 straight. 2. That didn't work out, did it? 1 to 1, 2, A1. Attacking suffers 1 step loss, and any surviving units must retreat 2 hexes. Okay, so we'll take the step loss. Can we take one from here? No. It's got to be from the strongest unit, or as in this case, with his armor involved. Okay. Let me just double check that. I know it's going to be the strongest unit. I think armor's got to take precedence. Let me check. Yes, the armor's got to take the loss first. So we are allowed to retreat through this hex, 2 hexes. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. There we go. Okay, so that got them guys out of Dodge City, didn't it? Don't believe there's any other combat. No. Okay. Second impulse. Now, most of the Russians cannot move. The infantry, the only things that can really move are the cavalry, which can move 1 movement point, and their mech units, which can move 3, unless they're reduced where they can only move 2. So, definitely wanted that to move into there. I'd like to keep that there. Ah, we've got new units coming in, haven't we? Yes, hold on. Let me just bring that up. There we go. Right, so Russian order of battle. We've got those 2 in Moscow. That one in Rostov. Let's go straight into Rostov. There we go. That one is Stalingrad. And a partisan. Okay. Right. Those we'll put in Moscow straight away. Now, partisan box there. I'll put into this little partisan display here, and then we'll go through that in a little bit more detail in a moment. Okay, let's wipe out. Remove that. Do we want to remove that? No, the cavalry. I think cavalry and the armor will change here. We're lacking a bit of armor, but we'll keep those 2 units in Moscow, though it's a guard cavalry. Guard cavalry for the Russians. Actually, that can move 3. Do we need that anywhere else? Let's put it there. Okay. I think. Do we need to move any further? No. All right, so now I've got to mark. There's no combat. Riga is out of supply 1. And Odessa is out of supply 1. So these are minor cities. They'll be eliminated end of next turn unless they get back in supply, which is not likely, is it? So I think that concludes the Soviet September-October turn. It's not ideal, but it doesn't look too bad. It all depends on the weather, how much more damage the Germans can actually do in this year. So, yeah, well. Actually, these units arrive as reinforcements, so they can't move. I'm just making sure I haven't missed anybody. Okay. Well, no, thank you for watching. Yeah, hit that like and button if you enjoyed what you've been seeing. Hit the subscribe if you enjoy my channel in general, if you haven't done so already. Again, any comments will be much appreciated. I am learning this as I go along. Any obvious gotchas, mistakes, boo-boos, please help. And any sort of way you could have moved this better, tactical analysis, anything along that line that will help improve my play. Again, add it into the comments. So until next time, thank you again for watching. Goodbye, Internet.